Stop scrolling right now, because what you're about to hear isn't just a love story, it's the kind of story that makes people question everything they thought they knew about love, loyalty, and family. Imagine living in the same house with someone you were never supposed to fall for, someone you were told was off limits forever, and then one moment changes everything. If you love emotional stories with shocking twists and impossible romance, make sure you hit subscribe right now because the stories on this channel only get more intense from here. And trust me, you do not want to miss the ending of this one. It started the day Maya moved into the house she never wanted to live in, dragging her suitcase across the wooden floor while her mother smiled nervously like this was supposed to feel like a fresh start instead of a mistake. Because the truth was Maya didn't believe in fresh starts anymore. Not after everything that had already fallen apart in her life, and the last thing she expected was to open the bedroom door at the end of the hallway and see him standing there, leaning against the wall like he had been waiting for her for years, tall, quiet, and completely unreadable, and the first thing he said wasn't welcome or hello or anything normal, it was just, "So you're the girl who's about to ruin my life," and she should have rolled her eyes and ignored him, but something in the way he said it made her heart stutter in a way she didn't understand yet, because that was the moment everything started even if neither of them realized it. His name was Ethan, and technically he was her step-brother now, even though they had only met 5 seconds earlier, and he didn't seem happy about it at all. But Maya wasn't happy either, because this whole situation felt fake. Like one of those forced happy endings people pretend are real when they're really just broken pieces glued together. And she told herself right away that she wouldn't talk to him, wouldn't look at him, wouldn't care about anything he thought. But the problem with promises like that is they always start breaking in the quiet moments, like late at night when the house was silent and she could hear music playing softly from his room and it sounded nothing like the kind of music someone like him was supposed to listen to, and she hated that it made her curious. Days turned into weeks, and they kept pretending not to notice each other even though the tension between them was impossible to ignore, especially at the dinner table where their parents kept smiling like this was the perfect blended family while Maya and Ethan exchanged those quick glances that lasted half a second too long. And the strange thing was that he never acted mean after that first day, just distant, like he was holding something back on purpose. And one night she finally snapped and asked him why he looked at her like he already knew her, and instead of answering right away he just laughed quietly and said, "Because you look at everything like you're about to leave it," and she hated how accurate that was. That was the night everything shifted, because after that they started talking, first about small things like school and movies and stupid random memories, and then about bigger things like fear and trust and the way people pretend they're fine when they're not, and the more they talked the more dangerous it felt. Because the truth was they understood each other in a way nobody else ever had, and Maya realized the worst possible thing was happening. She wasn't just getting used to him, she was starting to need him. The first time she noticed it was when he didn't come home one evening and she couldn't focus on anything until she heard the front door open, and suddenly she felt relieved in a way that scared her, because this was exactly what she had promised herself would never happen again, caring too much about someone who could disappear at any moment. And when he walked into the kitchen and saw her sitting there pretending to scroll through her phone, he smiled like he knew exactly why she hadn't moved for 2 hours, and that was the moment she realized she was in trouble. The twist came on a rainy night when the power went out and the whole house went dark except for the light coming from his phone screen, and they ended up sitting on the floor in the hallway talking about the one thing they had both been avoiding. The fact that they weren't really siblings, not by blood, not by history, just two strangers forced into the same life by people who thought love could fix everything, and the silence after that confession felt heavier than anything Maya had ever felt before, because now the truth was out in the open and neither of them could pretend anymore. She should have walked away right then, she knew that, but instead she stayed there, listening to the rain hitting the windows while Ethan said quietly that sometimes the person you're not supposed to love becomes the only person who actually understands you. And she wanted to argue, but the problem was she agreed with him completely, and when she looked at him again she realized he wasn't looking at her like a step-brother at all, he was looking at her like she was the one person he had been waiting for his entire life. The kiss wasn't planned, it wasn't dramatic, it just happened in one of those quiet moments where the world feels like it stops for a second, and when it did Maya felt everything collapse at the same time. Fear, relief, happiness, guilt, all crashing together so fast she couldn't even breathe properly, and the worst part was she didn't regret it, not even a little. After that nothing felt normal anymore, because they couldn't go back to pretending and they couldn't move forward without risking everything, and the biggest twist came when Maya overheard a conversation she was never supposed to hear. Her mother telling Ethan's father that they were thinking about moving again because the kids don't seem to be bonding, and that sentence hit her harder than anything else because suddenly she realized she might lose him before she even understood what he meant to her, and that was the moment she stopped pretending she was clueless about her feelings. The final scene happened the night before the move was supposed to happen, when Maya walked into the living room and saw Ethan sitting there with a packed bag next to him, and instead of acting calm like she usually did, she finally told him the truth, that she was tired of pretending not to feel anything, tired of being afraid of what people would think, tired of running away every time something real started to matter, and when he stood up and said he wasn't leaving because he had already made his decision a long time ago, she realized this story had never been about breaking rules, it had always been about finding the one person who made everything finally make sense. And the second kiss, the one that felt like the real ending, wasn't quiet or accidental at all. It was the kind of moment that changes everything forever, because this time they both knew exactly what it meant.